because I could not do otherwise. Those were the words given to me by a first-time best-selling author when I asked him why he became a writer. Leafanger was courteous enough to provide my high school English class with a few of his experiences on getting his first novel published. He went over his life as a journalist, the process of publishing, sacrifices he made at home and at work, the writing process, and so much more. It came across as a very troublesome experience, where he spent countless hours revising a project even he doubted would ever see the light of day. This was strange to me. Why would a man risk his success and spend his time and thankless effort making a thing that no one would ever likely care about? To him, the success or failure of the novel was irrelevant. The only thing that mattered to him was the idea in his head, this collection of characters and events demanding to be put on paper. He was tormented by thoughts of who those people were, where the events led, and what it all meant. He said that he would have written the novel regardless of if anyone else read it, that he could have burned the manuscript after and been okay with the world. He wrote because he was compelled to write. To him, it was mere fortune that someone decided to buy it. Now, almost a decade later, I've come to appreciate those words he gave, and the sentiment behind them. Over the past year, I've immersed myself in the world of adventure motorcycling. I've spent countless hours exploring its aspects. I've taken more notes than I had in 4 years of college. I've read more books, and I've studied more subjects. I trained harder than I ever had, pushed myself further than I'd ever gone, and discovered more about myself and the world around me than I'd ever thought to know. And were you to ask me why I did it, all I could say is, I could not do otherwise. As I write this, I've become a respectable and somewhat noteworthy member of the adventure motorcycling community. And it's funny to think that only a year ago, almost to the day, I had just gotten my motorcycle license. Although my adventures were not particularly impressive this past year, no, I didn't go to Argentina or ride the Continental Divide from Mexico to Canada, I must say that they were quite the feat for me. They were almost certainly the most challenging and engaging experiences I've ever had. In preparing myself to become an adventure rider, I found it quite difficult to find information on adventure riding, and what I did find typically lacked detail, was presented in condescending tones, or was really more concerned with selling me something. Every lesson was hard-earned, as I had the added difficulty of trying to sort out what I needed to know on top of making sure I knew it. With the hindsight of a year of adventures, with no experience or guide, I can tell you what I missed and what really matters on the trail. So it is my hope to provide this work as a comprehensive guide on how to become an adventure rider. These episodes are not going to be strictly instructional per se. The work in its entirety is going to follow my personal narrative whilst preparing for and on 2 extended trips this summer. However, to some extent, this work will cover my experience in motorcycling as a whole, as well as a bit of my experiences sharing them with all of you. Things will follow a roughly chronological order beginning in the early spring of 2014 and ending in the late summer of 2015. I understand that many of you are likely not interested in my personal story, and a few of you may be a little more interested in the story than in education. So I've split each lesson into 2 sections. The first being things I learned, or wish I had learned, in that part of the story. The second, a linked episode concerning the specific events in that chapter. Though it does provide some depth to watch both episodes, you will be able to watch the lessons and not miss out on any critical information. As well, you will be able to watch the narrative episodes without feeling the need to watch the lessons to understand what's going on. At this point, I want to take the opportunity to thank a few people who were highly influential in creating this work. I would like to begin by thanking the Fishstick 303. He was the one who got me to engage with other members of the motorcycling community and collaborate towards better work. Sadly, he is no longer with us, but he remains an inspiration to me, and I am thankful for that. As well, I would like to mention Superbee, my friend, for helping me find the comfort in sharing these scattered details and experiences of my life. And lastly, I would like to thank my traveling companions, those who are willing to join me in going into the unknown. So thank you Elevation Trail, thank you for Survival Packs, and thank you Free Spirit Phil. And with that, I'm happy to say, welcome to Adventure 101.